Yes, class 7. Yesterday we started our new unit number 3. It's about polytheism, shirk, and we studied the different kinds of shirk that we even don't know. We are not sure about it that this is included in shirk or not. And most important thing that when we have any type of harm or we have any type of pain, so to whom we should ask, to whom we should pray. There is nothing, no other personality rather than Allah. We have to pray only Allah Almighty for all our pains and for all our prayers. So in this lesson the same connection is used here. The lesson name is using spell and amulets and charm. We will see in that lesson that these things are allowed in our religion or not, and whether we can use these things, what are the status of these things, and if they are forbidden, what's the reason of forbidding all these things. So start the lesson. A spell is a supplication or the recitation wiped or blown on one's body to cure illness or prevent the evil eye. So we see sometimes the person becomes ill and he cannot get cured by the help of medicine, or doctors refuse to help. So we take shelter towards the ruqya. Ruqya is just the supplications of the recitation of some words, of some ayahs from Quran, or some other words other than Quran. This is called ruqya. We blow these, after recitation we blow on the body of the person. So we can see here that such which type of ruqya is allowed to us. So there is told one type of the ruqya is permissible, but the other types are shirk. So the question is that what type of ruqya is allowed to us? If the name of Allah or some verses of the Quran are recited in ruqya, then it is allowed, then it is permissible. And if we use some other words rather than Quran, it's also allowed, but the condition is that there should be no shirk in the use of these words. So we should be very careful about the use of the words. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, La ba'asa birruka ma lam yakun fihi shirk. There is nothing wrong with ruqya as long as it is not shirk. So we should be very careful about the use of the words that we are using in ruqya. The words should not contain any shirk. So if we are asking help from other than Allah, so it's mean we are doing shirk. Only Allah alone deserves our worships and our prayers. So as for the types of ruqya which seek protection or help from the other than Allah, or use the name of other than Allah, believing that the words themselves have power to bring about desired effects, this is shirk. So even if we are not saying some words that contain shirk, if we are saying the simple words, but if we believe that these words can help to cure the person, these words are so powerful that they can cure the person, so this is also called shirk. If we are saying something, but there should be our intention that by using these words only Allah can cure the person, and if we believe that these words themselves can cure the person, so it is shirk. So an amulet, second thing, an amulet or the charm, something that is hung, made of the leather, metal, wood, etc., on which is written so-called words of protection. So this is the other kind of and taking protection. These are, first is ruqya and the second is amulet or charm. So these are the words that we write on something and we hang them in our house or in the necks of animals, on our vehicles, just believing that these will save ourselves from such type of the harms from the any evil eye. So it may be shape of the head of an animal like gazelle or a horse. The purpose of hanging these on the someone or something is supposedly to prevent harm or avoid the evil eye. The Arabs used to believe that such things would prevent the evil eye from affecting their camels or the livestock. So the people who hang all these things, they believe that these things can prevent the harm from happening to them, or they can save them from any type of harm and their animals from any type of harm. So Arabs, who were ignorant people, they didn't have any type of religion, so they had the belief, such type of the beliefs, they believe in all these things. So there is a hadith that tell us that is that allowed or not. And Abad bin Tamim anna Aba Bashir al-Ansari radiyallahu anhu akhbarahu annahu kana ma'a Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam fi bazi asfarihi. It means that he was traveling with Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Fa arsala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam Allah yabkayanna fi rakabihi bi'ayrim qaladatan min watrin aw qiladatun illa quti'at. So what's that meaning? We will see on the next page. Look on the next page. There is the translation of that hadith. Abada bin Tamim reported Abu Bashir al-Ansari was with Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam on a journey when he sent a messenger saying to him, no necklace or amulets or bowstrings should be left on the neck of a camel. They should be cut off. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered the people who were hanging the something in the necks of their animal. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered them to cut off all these amulets from the necks of their animals, because they cannot protect. They are not so powerful that they can protect them from any evil eye. Inna Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called Ya Ruwayfiyu la'alla al-hayata satatulu bika ba'di fa akhbirin nasa annahu man aqada lihyatuhu aw taqallada watran aw istanja biraji'i dabbatin aw azmin fa inna Muhammadan bari'un minhu. There is another hadith that is telling us that these type of the practices are not allowed in our religion. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told a companion, "Oh, Ruwayfi, perhaps you will live long after me. So inform the people that whoever ties a knot in his beard or wears necklace made of the bowstrings or clean himself after toileting with animals' dung or bone, then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is disassociated from his sin." So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam announced his disassociation with such a person who is involved in such type of activity, who takes shelter in hanging the amulets and charms in his house or with his vehicle or in the neck of the animals. Just like we can see there in our countries, some people hang some type of shoes or black cloth at the back of their vehicle, just believing that they will save their vehicle from the evil eye. So they are involving in the shirk. We should avoid such type of activity. We should not involve such type of activities. So there is another fact that is telling to us, removing the amulets and preventing someone from wearing one is a religious act. So it's our responsibility. If somebody is wearing such type of the things, we should ask him to remove, as Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent the messenger to order the people to remove such type of the things from the neck of their animals. So Said bin Jubair said, whoever cuts an amulet from the person, it is like freeing a slave. So if we cut such type of amulet from any person's neck or arm, it's mean that we are freeing a slave. So such a reward of doing such act. Ibrahim an-Nakhai said, a companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam disliked using amulets written with the verses of the Quran or the other than Quran. So not only Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered to remove such things, but Sahaba Ikram also follow the footsteps of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They did not allow to do all these things. A charm is something that people claim that it make love increase between husband and wife. In reality, it is used by the magician to chant or recite on something to attain the desired objectives. It is type of magic, and magic is haram in Islam. So first type of the thing that we are forbidden here is rukia, rukia that contain shirk. Second thing, we are forbidden here use of amulet. And the third type of the thing is use of charm, to recite something believing that these verses will increase the love between the wife and husband and they protect them, believing that these words themselves are so powerful. So it's mean that the people will lose their tawakkul on Allah Almighty and they turn towards these things. They try to take shelter in these things and they don't worship now Allah, because they lose in their hearts the belief in Allah Almighty. They believe now in the other things, so they stop to worship Allah Almighty, and Allah Almighty is alone deserve all the worships. So if we are involving such type of the activities, it means that we are involving in shirk. So we should avoid all these activities, follow the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Sahaba karam. May Allah protect from every type of shirk that we know and that we don't know. Even in ignorance we are involving in it. May Allah protect every type of shirk. Ameen.